JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, gold rush. Scores of people have been descending on a property in Chester Castle, Hanover, after news began to swirl that deposits of what residents believed to be gold had been located while digging a pit. Ralston Cole, who occupies the property, located in a section of the community called Top Hill, said that the discovery was made shortly after they hired the services of a heavy equipment operator to do excavation works as the house is being constructed there. Them started dig the pit Tuesday, and after about 10 feet down, them see an unusual soil coming out of the pit, Cole said. The unusual soil carries some gold-looking thing. It's a mineral. So people from all over come now say it look like gold. So them start to dig out the earth and find the things them what looking like gold. Cole admitted that they were still unsure as to what the substance or the shiny objects found were. He's calling on government mining specialists or geologists to come in and conduct soil testing and to make an assessment of the mineral. However, the uncertainty was not enough to deter the throng of people who turned up at the location. Dozens of people from miles around turned up with machetes, digging away and loading buckets of the shiny rock to take away. Several young men could be heard shouting that they were now rich. Others are already making plans to better their lives from the sale of the find if it turns out to be gold deposits. Jamaica's first known gold mine was located in Pennant's Clarendon. It was operated by Australian company Asjam, which began mining on expectations that it would have extracted 35,000 ounces of 9 and 15 carat nuggets. Jamaica's first known gold mine was located in Pennant's Clarendon. It was operated by Australian company Asjam, which began mining on expectations that it would have extracted 35,000 ounces of 9 and 15 carat nuggets. But by December 22, it had only yielded 12,000 ounces, and geologists suggested that only another 3,000 to 4,000 ounces remain to be extracted. The company closed its operations in 2003, citing financial woes because of low ore grades. Cook shop operator shot and injured in Guys Hill. The Guys Hill police in St. Catherine are now searching for persons who shot and injured a cook shop operator on Monday morning. It is reported that about 4 a.m., the man went to his place of business to start meal preparation. He was at the rear of the premises when explosions were heard. He was later found suffering from gunshot wounds to his upper body. The injured man was rushed to hospital where he has been admitted. Gunman shoots one during robbery, flees leaving loaded magazine. A gunman shot one of two men and fled with more than $30,000, but left behind a loaded magazine during a robbery Sunday morning. The high drama took place in Red Ground District in Old Harbour, St. Catherine. The 20-year-old injured man has been admitted to hospital, while his friend escaped injuries after he promptly fled the scene. Police reports saw that about 3:35 a.m., both men drove up to a premises after attending a wake at Barton's District, Old Harbour, when they were pounced upon by a man armed with a handgun. The driver of the vehicle immediately fled upon seeing the gunman, leaving the now injured man behind. The police said the gunman stole $35,000 from the vehicle, took the remaining victim further up the Red Ground Main Road near Halstead Spring, shot him in the head and fled. The police were summoned and found the man suffering from a gunshot wound to his head. He was rushed by the Old Harbour Operations Support Unit to hospital, where he was admitted in critical condition. The police, while processing the crime scene, discovered that the gunman left behind a Glock magazine containing 16 live 9mm rounds. St. Anne's Supermarket gutted by fire. The L&M Supermarket in Salem, Runaway Bay in St. Anne, was gutted by a fire on Monday morning. Reports said that the fire started around 1:40 a.m. No injuries have been reported. Public Relations Officer for the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Emilio Banks, said 3 units were deployed to the location. We received the call at 1:46 a.m. that there was a fire at the L&M Supermarket in Salem, Runaway Bay. We responded with 2 units from St. Anne's Bay and 1 from Brownstown. The supermarket was located on the ground floor of a 2-floor building, he said. Banks said investigators are now trying to ascertain the cause and extent of the damage. The fire was confined to the interior of the supermarket. At the height of it, we had 19 firefighters on location. We now have investigators on scene trying to ascertain not only the cause of the fire, but the extent of the damage in terms of losses. We did not get any reports of any deaths and or injuries, he noted. Children among 8 left homeless following Manchester fire. 8 people, including 4 children, have been left homeless following an early morning fire in Craighead, Manchester on Sunday. Jasmine Daly, matriarch of the family, said that she and her relatives lost all of their belongings in the blaze. "We don't have anywhere to go. We don't have any clothes. We lose everything at the house," she lamented. Daly believes the fire started in an outside kitchen. The distraught woman said the possibility of the 4 children, ages 12, 11, 9 and 7, returning to school on Monday is bleak. "They were to return to school today, but we don't have anything to send them," she said. Daly is appealing for assistance and is asking anyone who can help to contact her at 876-371-0671. That's 876-371-0671. Despite CSEC probe, business as usual at Stewarton Academy. It appears to be business as usual at Stewarton Academy in St. Anne on Monday morning, with students and members of staff milling around for the first day of the school term. Principal Omar Mangal, who the Ministry of Education advised to stay on the job to facilitate an investigation into alleged irregularities during last year's CSEC exams, was among those at work. He could be heard over the school's intercom, providing words of encouragement to his school family as they embarked on the new school term. Alicia Riley, a parent at the institution, said that she was ecstatic about taking her son Davian Barry to school on his first day. "This morning, me say school now keep because of the whole situation that is happening now. But me still come, and me feel good when me come and see that school is in session, because my son is just starting in grade 7 and was very excited," she said. Last week, Mongo said the classes would proceed as normal today, despite a directive for him and 4 teachers to go on leave. The Overseas Examinations Council has launched a probe, ostensibly triggered by the school's unexpectedly impressive showing in the May to June 2022 sitting of exams for the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC. However, Mangal has maintained the results were solely the fruit of dedication. Mangal has maintained the results were solely the fruit of dedication and hard work. "Give us an amnesty or else," Todd said warns government. Edgerton Newman, president of the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, TODS, on Sunday appealed to the government to wake up and smell the coffee, as he warned that the public transport sector is heading for trouble. During a hastily called meeting to discuss the issue of outstanding payment for traffic tickets by public transport operators, which was poorly attended at the Halfway Tree Primary School in St. Andrew, Newman demanded that the government gives them an amnesty and not a payment plan as is being considered. According to Newman, he will not hesitate to go back on his initial word that taxi and bus operators will not stage any more demonstrations. "Rescind the whole idea of a payment arrangement and give us our first request, which is an amnesty. Government can wipe the slate clean and start anew. If that does not happen, we're going down to King Street to the High Court with the issue," said a militant Newman, who has claimed that his organization represents thousands of bus and taxi operators. "I've said that we'll not go back on a demonstration, but we might have to go back there. There's no way we're going to have a new Road Traffic Act and the conditions under which we operate are the same. It can't work." Also, we're giving Transport Minister Audley Shaw until the middle of February to ensure that bus stops are replaced, added Newman, in an obvious reference to Constant Spring Road, where several bus stops were removed when it was widened. The Todds had claimed that the government has failed to put in proper infrastructure to facilitate them dropping off or picking up passengers and has not put in place proper parking arrangements. Newman said the situation has caused him to be upset and frustrated, and he's now anxious to see the outcome on Tuesday when he expects the matter to be discussed in Parliament. "We've received a so-called payment arrangement from the government, where we have to pay billions of dollars by January 31st. Looking at this scenario, one taximan has 300 to 500 tickets, not of his own will, but because of the conditions under which he has to work. When government says, you racked up those tickets to go and pay, to us that is total madness, because the conditions under which we operate give the police the right to give even 7 tickets in one day. Wherever a transport operator stops, a police is there waiting on him," said Newman. He charged that the transport operators begged the government to give them a particular space in Halfway Tree for parking, but the property was given instead to a car dealer to park motor vehicles for sale. "We're in a pickle, a bind, and at a crossroads. There's no way we can come up with over $3 billion by January 31. We're not paying one single dollar until we know what Parliament says, Newman insisted. We're not the cause of what is happening to us all. The government is. The government painted every section of the road yellow. If I have a Hackney carriage, I have to set up anywhere that is convenient for me. When you look at the road safety issues, is it the taximan causing accidents on the road? No. Is it that the government planned this so that more money can go into its coffers? Newman questioned as he accused the police of targeting private transport operators. Royal Reid and co-accused to return to court in April. Former Education Minister Royal Reid and former Caribbean Maritime University President Fritz Pinnock, along with their 3 co-accused, are to return to court on April 3, pending the outcome of a judicial review. The new mentioned date was set Monday morning when the matter was called up in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. Reid, Pinnock, Reid's wife Sharon, their daughter Sherelle, and Jamaica Labour Party councillor for the Brownstown Division Kim Brown Lawrence all appeared in court. The date was agreed on by attorneys representing the Financial Investigations Division FID and the 5 accused, after Senior Parish Judge Jacqueline Wilcott noted that it was better to have them return after the judicial review. The hearing for that review is set for February 6th and 7th. The Supreme Court is to review a court ruling that Reid and his co-accused have a case to answer over their alleged corrupt actions. Chief Parish Judge Chester Crooks had ruled last February that the accused were implicated in a multi-billion-dollar fraud case, had a case to answer. The judge's ruling was in response to a preliminary objection raised by Reid and Pinnock on the basis that the charges against them should be nullified, as the FID, which leveled the charges, had no authority in law to arrest or charge them. Reid and Pinnock took issue with the decision after Crooks declared that he was recusing himself from the trial because of a perceived conflict of interest and sought a judicial review. It was later revealed that the conflict was in relation to the judge's attendance at Monroe College while Reid was at Boy. Justice Wilcott said that an April date will give all parties involved sufficient time to prepare after the outcome of the judicial review. The 5 have been charged with a range of offences, including breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in a public office at common law, and breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA. Investigators have alleged that nearly $50 million of public funds were diverted to the personal use of Reid and Pinnock through several schemes, including one that mirrors the Career Advancement Program Youth Employment Solutions. In sports news, Waterhouse FC in big 4-0 win over Harbourview in JPL. Waterhouse FC blanked defending champions Harbourview 4-0 at the Stadium East Complex on Sunday to win back-to-back games for the first time this season, racing up the tables to 7th place. Waterhouse, who struggled at the start of the season, extended their unbeaten run to 3 games and improved to 13 points, 1 point out of a playoff spot. The former champions raced to an early 2-0 lead with goals from Ramon Howell in the 11th minute and Kenroy Howell in the 18th minute. Devroy Gray made it 3-0 in the 54th minute before Shaquille Bradford added a 4th in the 50th minute as Harbourview crashed to their second loss of the season. Meanwhile, Dumbler Olden ended a 3-game winless run with a 2-0 win over slumping Montego Bay United at Westport Park with an own goal in the 83rd minute, and Stephen Williams adding the final nail in their coffin a minute later. In the first game of the doubleheader, Falkland FC just missed their first win of the season, leading Mullines United 2-0 before holding on for a point in a 2-2 draw while finishing the game with only 9 players. Enrique Gordon scored 2 first-half goals for Falkland FC, while Jason Wright got a double in the last 11 minutes for Mullines United. Falkland FC were down 10 players as early as the 9th minute when Michael McLeod was sent off, and were up 2-1 when Marvin Sangster was sent off after he got a second yellow card and was dismissed. Gordon scored twice in the first 15 minutes to give Falkland FC the lead, and Mullines failed to cut into the deficit in the 70th minute when Rashawn Plummer's penalty attempt was saved by goalkeeper David Swaby. Wright pulled 1 goal back for Mullines in the 79th minute and then scored the equaliser in the 83rd minute. The games between Tivoli Gardens and Portmore United and Viera United and Chapelton Maroons ended in 0-0 draws. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.